as we've talked about for a while now on the channel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has opened portals to so many new opportunities for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, bringing in new characters and reigniting opportunities to meet old characters all in one huge epic cinematic cameo moment is something that we will be getting for sure in some essence or another in this Doctor Strange sequel. Now I say that because we've heard rumors for so many different characters who could be making appearances, whether they'll be replayed by old characters like Hugh Jackman or Patrick Stewart, or if they'll be introduced to the MCU long term like we've heard about Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, who might be making a little bit more than a staycation out of his trip into the MCU. And today's rumor is one that hasn't been talked about enough and I think is very, very possible, but the idea of it is a little bit forgotten on the back burner because it was actually a canceled project that Marvel was prepared to move forward with and then ended up not using in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's talk about Black Bolt, the Inhumans, and Vin Diesel. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm your host Chris, and yes, Black Bolt is a huge option for a character who will be making his Marvel Cinematic Universe debut, and I kinda think there is a lot of reasons to believe this. First off, let's talk about the heavily rumored Illuminati. Now, these are rumors that I personally believe are true. I do believe we will be seeing the Illuminati, a group of superheroes who will be dedicated to protect the multiverse, happen in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think there are a lot of specific details out there that have talked about what they're going to be doing in the film, and it is my personal opinion that this is all accuracies and we will in fact be seeing the Illuminati, potentially even made up of Patrick Stewart's Professor X from the Fox universe. But there are a few staple characters in the Illuminati that need to show up, much like Professor X, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, and Black Bolt. Now, in the comics, the Illuminati are a group of superheroes who represent each of the mightiest heroes, like Iron Man represents the Avengers, Professor X represents the X-Men, and other characters who are involved in the Illuminati each represent their corner of the superhero stratosphere, and Black Bolt represents the Inhumans. Now you may or may not know this, but we were actually going to get a canon MCU Inhuman movie, and Vin Diesel was going to play the lead Black Bolt in this film. However, it eventually got pushed back and then scrapped, and Kevin Feige himself even said in 2018 it could come out as a feature film in Phase 4, but then later was revealed that it was going to become an ABC 8-episode series special that didn't have a direct connection or correlation to the MCU. Now, I do think there is certainly still room for the Inhumans to make way in the MCU, and I think at some point every character is going to have a crack at being in the sacred timeline, in the big leagues, in Marvel's Cinematic Universe, and the Inhumans just haven't had that go yet. ABC's television show just doesn't quite count. Now, Vin Diesel has opened up recently about what happened with the movie getting cancelled and changed, and he said this specifically back in 2017. I don't think Marvel should abandon their opportunity to make a film out of it. I think it could be a huge saga, and if I had more time, I would go over to Marvel and have that very conversation. But I think it would be a big mistake for Marvel to abandon their ambitions or their objective or their goals of making it into a film, because it would make such a cool universe. Now, the Inhumans is a very complex and complicated group of heroes in Marvel's comics lore, and I think the adaptation of this group would be a big job for them to do in the MCU, especially since we're trying to include now new big villains like Galactus and Kang, we're trying to include the X-Men, we're trying to include the Fantastic Four, and many other characters coming from the Fox universe like Deadpool, for example. So when you go ahead and throw the Inhumans and the existence of a completely different group of characters in the works, well, things can start to get complicated. Well, that was before the multiverse was spiraled into madness, and Doctor Strange and company are going to be headed their way through the multiverse, meeting all sorts of groups of peoples and cameos along the way, including, supposedly, the Inhumans. Now, if it weren't for the inclusion of the Illuminati, which I've already mentioned several times in this video, I do believe is true, then it would just be another idea, another fan cast, another, well, we're in the multiverse, might as well include Vin Diesel and Black Bolt and all of the Inhumans, because why not? But Black Bolt is a very traditional member of the comic strip The Illuminati, where he represents the Inhumans and plays a valuable role as being one of the integral members of this group. Now, it does seem that this group is being retconned for the film, that the Illuminati isn't going to be protecting the Earth, or holding the stones, or many of the other tasks that they've had in the comics. However, they will be protecting the multiverse. Now, whether or not we'll get a separate Illuminati verse played in the MCU, in the Sacred Timeline that will play the same role like we see in the comics or not, I'm not sure. However, after seeing the Illuminati in the multiverse, I would say probably unlikely. But based off of what we heard and seem to understand, it seems like the Illuminati will be a multiversal protector, and all of these characters will be gathered from different realms of the multiverse, and Professor X, played by Patrick Stewart from the Fox universe, John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic, represented from his own universe, maybe even a different Doctor Strange will be involved. Tom Cruise playing Iron Man from the Iron Legion universe, which we've talked about on the channel as well. There are a lot of options for really cool cameos in this very sacred, highly powerful and important multiversal protecting group, the Illuminati. And there's no reason to leave any of those characters out, which means Black Bolt should be somewhere in there, along with Namor, and in some instances even a Captain America. But all of these characters who will be protecting the multiverse will come from different realms and don't necessarily have to remain in the MCU, causing a ton of confusion. They can make their quick cameo, they can state their importance of protecting the multiverse, and then they can gracefully step aside as we continue to build in Phase 4 and Phase 5 up to Phase 6 for the next big bad and the storyline happening around us in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know as you've been sitting here and listening to me talk about this for 7 minutes now, you're thinking to yourself, wow, there are so many cameos in Doctor Strange, from Ghost Rider to different people playing Iron Man and Captain America, it's getting to be too much. And I don't know which of all of these rumors for sure are set in stone. I know which ones I personally believe and which ones I've heard several times from different sources, but of them all, the Illuminati, the group the Illuminati, does make the most sense and have the most footing. It seems for sure we will be seeing a group, the Illuminati, protecting the multiverse in the MCU. And that would mean Black Bolt is somehow involved, making this rumor that Vin Diesel could be making an appearance as Black Bolt for the Illuminati in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, a rumor for me that has a ton of merit, and something I would definitely look forward to seeing and kind of expect to see at this point. Something that definitely is up in the air and does bring a ton of questions from all of us on YouTube talking about this and from different leakers and insiders is, what will the role of the Illuminati be specifically for this film? And will it carry over into other parts of Phase 4, Phase 5, and so forth in the MCU? Or will these cameos be nothing more but an opportunity to see some of our favorite heroes as we move on to different parts of the MCU? Our characters that we love and are going to miss now that the Infinity Saga is over, played in a different light by Tom Cruise, John Krasinski, other characters like Vin Diesel's Black Bolt. So the question remains, are these cameos just cameos, or will these characters have an important footing moving forward in the MCU? And that really does put the madness in the Multiverse of Madness as the list of cameos continues to grow for this second Doctor Strange film, and the weight of them and the likelihood of them also grows along with it. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Do you think we'll be seeing Black Bolt as a member of the Illuminati, and do you think he'll be played by Vin Diesel? I'm going to tell you guys, this is a rumor with merit. It isn't something that you should brush aside saying, oh, it's just another fan casting. There is a lot of opportunity for this. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Do you want to see it? And do you hope to see it? Thank you guys so much for watching till the very end of the video. If you did, go ahead and let me know. Just say, I watched the whole thing. I do appreciate your guys' support, and I'll see you guys in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.